Hey, you guys, it's Lauren Oxley, co-owner of Oxfit here. This is my very first solo YouTube live. I have been featured on a few of our podcasts if you follow along with our Oxfit podcast, but I have never done a solo one. So I'm just going to wait to see if I'm actually live and you all can hear me. Vulnerable moment. I have really no idea how to work this thing. So if I've shown up a little, sweaty, it is because I've been running around just trying to figure this thing out. So it looks like someone's on watching, probably my husband. So yeah, we're going to roll with it. I'm not going to lie, vulnerable moment for me here. I don't love doing these. Not going to lie. I am not the first one to just kind of jump on social media and talk, or I'm not the first one to jump at an opportunity to do a podcast. So I'm doing something out of my comfort zone, something a little uncomfortable for you. And, those are always the times where I feel like I've taken the biggest leap in growth and really have enjoyed those times where I've done something crazy. Or something different, it doesn't have to be crazy, just something like out of the ordinary. I was actually listening to a podcast this morning by a fellow female, business owner, CEO. And she was talking a little bit about how she has now become the solo CEO of her company. She was in a partnership before. And she was always the one that sort of was a little bit more behind the scenes. I feel like similar to me and Ant, like Ant is definitely the more vocal one. But anyways, she has had to stop hiding behind her ability and become more visible in her business. And it's just been really cool to follow that journey of hers. And I feel like it resonated a lot with me this morning. It was weird how I listened to that this morning. And so, yeah, it's time to do something here different, something exciting, something a little scary, but I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully you guys will just join me on the ride here with getting some more reps in. I have a lot of knowledge to share. I'm excited to do that on this platform. You may find me, in the gym, coaching classes, working privately with moms. My strong suit is really behind the spreadsheets and growing the business and looking at the sales and the metrics and stuff. So, it might be a little bumpy here as we get going, but excited to provide you guys with some helpful information. So before I do jump into kind of what I came to talk about today. Oh, wait, I see a comment. Okay, cool. You can hear me. Yay. Thanks. Before I jump into my topic for today, I want to, now that I'm going to have the ability, I guess, to defend myself here a little bit, talk about Ant's comments on a podcast that he did yesterday, which was really great. He gave out some tips and advice for all athletes on, in his opinion and in his experience, the top 5 supplements. But he was talking some smack about my top supplement that I recommended, which is magnesium. So this is a topic for another podcast for a different day. So I'm not going to, dive into the details of this, but I am going to take a minute here to talk some smack back. So magnesium is not just for the moms, and it is also it is not just a supplement for, perimenopause and menopause in those seasons. It can definitely help you get ripped too, Aunt. So I know you want to get ripped, and I know you want your clients to get ripped, but I'm here to tell you that add magnesium in, and it will also help you get ripped because it supports your sleep. It supports your recovery. It supports your brain health. It supports muscle synthesis. It literally bonds with protein synthesis to help. It also partners with your testosterone levels too. So anyways, there's so many benefits to taking magnesium. Now, you may argue with me that it's not the top number 1 supplement to take, but it needs to be in the mix, especially if you are a mom and perimenopause or menopause. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Take magnesium and follow my next podcast, maybe the next one, maybe in 2 or 3. episodes, but I will revisit my recommended top supplements for women and moms and athletes as well in general. So, okay. All right. So let's jump into my topic here. I have been the co-owner of OxFit for 9 years, and over those 9 years, I have obviously gained a lot of experience, worked with a lot of different clients. Lately have really focused and sort of built a niche working with moms in all different seasons, because I myself am a mom, a busy mom of 2 crazy toddlers, and a gym owner. So through that experience, through working with lots of individuals, I have some tips that I'd like to share. So we're going to dive in, and thanks for joining me. All right. So if you're a mom in your 30s or 40s and you feel like getting in shape should be easier by now, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not the problem. Most moms struggle because they're lazy. They're not lazy or unmotivated. They really struggle because they've just been given the wrong plan or read the wrong advice, received the wrong expectations, and gotten zero support for the real life that they're living. So if you ever thought, what am I missing here? Or why can everyone else stick with it but me? You're not missing anything. You've just never really been taught what actually works for moms with careers, with kids, schedules, and a body that's changing over the years, as it should. At OxFit, we've spent 9 years helping thousands of moms get into the best shape of their lives without guilt, without perfection, and without living in the gym. So to celebrate 9 years, here are my 9 tips to make getting in shape simpler, faster, and way more sustainable, even with a busy mom life. So I used to feel so overwhelmed personally by grocery shopping, meal prepping, and cooking and balancing all of that. I would skip meals sometimes or just eat my kids' like leftover mac and cheese, which unsurprisingly made me feel like absolute garbage. When I finally got my act together, I knew exactly when and where I'd shop every week, as well as, when I was going to do all of my meal prep. I even defined my weekly menu and who was responsible for cooking each meal. So tip number 1 from me is plan out your week the week before. It sounds simple, but it's not necessarily easy to execute on. Having a detailed meal plan and strategy completely changed how I felt. It freed up my brain power to focus on what really mattered. And I just felt less stressed starting the week and really was a better mom, wife, and just overall better quality person too, being more organized. When you plan your week in advance and take a little bit of time over the weekend to do this, it makes everything easier. And again, easier, it sounds easy, but it really isn't. You've got to execute on it and take action. Also, as a busy mom, sometimes it can just feel impossible to find the time to work out. I own a gym and I even struggle to prioritize getting there. But I always feel better and everything else in the house runs more smoothly if I work out. So once I found my rhythm again, specifically in my postpartum period, I just started showing up consistently. I felt more capable and confident in other areas of my life. The brain fog started to clear. My energy levels came back. I started training my brain that my mental health was a priority and a non-negotiable. And even when I'm running out the door and the baby's crying and the house is a mess, like I still had to run out to make sure I spent that 1 hour on myself because it was a non-negotiable. So my second tip here is to schedule at least 3 workouts in your calendar per week and just show up. Literally put them in your calendar. Find a coach-led gym where the programming is taken care of for you so you don't have to worry about what to do. You do not have time to be writing yourself workouts as a busy mom. When you protect that time, you're not just working out, but you're practicing self-care and respect and keeping your long-term health goals at the top of the list and instead of at the bottom, which most moms do. Their kids, their husbands, their families are always at the top, but not them. Make yourself the priority. Schedule it in your calendar. I also used to forget to eat sometimes in the middle of like getting everyone dressed and nursing the baby, getting the diaper bag packed, the school bags packed, shuffling everyone out the door. I'm sure everyone, this sounds familiar to you, right? But skipping breakfast made my energy levels just crash. I'd be cranky and moody. I craved sugar because of that, and when I was hungry, my patience just ran thin. I found myself snapping and yelling more. I started eating within an hour of waking up, and I felt so much better, so much more balanced throughout the day. I would just eat a couple eggs, a couple slices of turkey bacon, a little bowl of berries on the side, and I just found I was able to tackle my to-do list with a clear head and a better attitude. So my third tip here is make time for a quick high-protein breakfast. Doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Because if you start your day with nothing but coffee and chaos, you're basically setting yourself up for failure. Trust me, I used to do it. So a simple protein-packed breakfast keeps your blood sugar levels nice and stable. It will stabilize your mood and really your willpower throughout the rest of the day too. Also, as a busy gym owner, once my day gets started, sometimes it just feels so back to back, right? Meetings after meetings. I'm on sales calls with, potential clients, team meetings, in private training sessions with clients. And there's only so much time in the day to fit it all in. So I would just like scarf down my lunch. I would eat it in the middle of a call or in the middle of a meeting, while scrolling my phone even. And I'd finish so quickly that I would barely even taste my food. Half the time I still felt hungry because I didn't give my stomach a chance to like get the memo that I'd actually eaten. Once I finally slowed down, started enjoying my food, tasting it, I felt more satisfied and got a much needed break too from all the stimulation. So tip number 4 for you is put the phone away, put the distractions away, give yourself 10 minutes to sit and actually enjoy your food without all the distractions. I believe this is referred to as like mindful eating. So slow down, enjoy your food. Your brain needs time to register fullness, and it can't do that if you inhale your meal. A mindful 10 minutes can really set the rest of your day up for success. Another common challenge I experience as a busy mom and a gym owner is going all day without drinking water or even maybe anything. I would feel sluggish, have headaches, wonder why my skin was dry, and so I made a rule for myself to drink water before every meal, and it really improved my energy levels throughout the day. So tip number 5 is drink the dang water bottle that you filled up in the morning. You filled it up, drink it. And if you need to buy the pretty Stanley bottle, do it. So you feel more excited to carry it around or, between meetings down the hall, whatever at work. Once I actually bought myself a pretty looking purple water bottle, if you know, I shockingly drank it more. So keep a water bottle within arm's reach, make it a cute one if you need to. And that way you'll actually want to sip it while juggling all the chaos and bouncing back and forth between meetings. Also, the next one, meal prep. It can be so tough as a busy mom, right? That term can even give people anxiety, right? Meal prep. Especially when the kids are home all weekend, maybe their naps were really short, or you were solo parenting over the weekend and you had no time. So on those days when I don't have anything prepped, I used to just end up eating like pretzels, fruit snacks, applesauce pouches, and I would feel awful. Those quick fixes and snacks were doing nothing for me. So I had to keep high protein snacks around, especially my diaper bag and my work bag, and things started to just line up. Once I stocked up on things like Chomp Sticks, RX bars, on-the-go protein shakes, I would feel way more energized throughout the day and actually capable of surviving the day. So tip number 7, I know people think it's easy, but pack your bag with protein. As a gym owner, people think it's easy. And I guess it should be. I have a key to the gym, right? But it's not easy for me to work out. I have a top-notch equipment here, but I still sometimes don't get to the gym. It doesn't mean it's easy. I know people listening have had Peloton bikes that they haven't been on. So, it's just easy to make excuses for skipping the gym when no one's keeping you accountable. I used to tell myself I was too busy or I needed to stay home with the kids, instead of showing up. Those postpartum hormones are so tough. But next one, once I started hanging out with people that elevated my goals, made me feel motivated to work out, I showed up to the OxFit Moms class, I found my rhythm again in the gym. So tip number 7, find a fitness friend or a community to work out with, that's going to call you out when you don't show up. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to help lift you up during those seasons. Success is really contagious. So tip 7, find a fitness community, find your OxFit Moms group or a group like that, and surround yourself with people that are going to help you during those crazy times where you might feel alone, and you'll see the accountability of those friends in that community start to really pay off. Some mornings also getting ready for the gym just feels impossible, right? With the kids' routines kind of pulling you in every direction. I'd get so overwhelmed sometimes that I'd just skip the gym entirely too. Once I started laying out my clothes and the kids' outfits the night before, I would just show up more. Suddenly mornings felt easier and smoother, and I actually felt capable of making it to the gym. So tip number 8 for you, lay out your clothes the night before. Sounds simple, but it's not easy, but be prepared. It really does go a long way. Being prepared is like half the battle to success, to showing up. And then lastly, it took me a while to admit that I couldn't do it all without feeling like I was failing as a mom. We all know this mom guilt. We've heard this term before, right? And it sucks. We all experience it. We feel like we have to prove it to someone, maybe to our moms or our friends or, whoever it might be, that we can manage it all, but we don't have to. It takes a village. It really does. Eventually, I did realize that I didn't have to do everything to be a good mom or wife, and I started getting some help. I slowly bought back my time to focus on my health and enjoy my family. So over the course of a year, I hired a nutrition coach for myself for accountability purposes, a cleaner, a meal prep service. And once all those things started to kind of fall into place, I had so much support and everything started to click. And I started to finally see those last fitness goals that I really wanted and those last changes in my body. So my final tip here is to hire help. Don't be ashamed. You can start with just one area and eventually build up. But recently, buying back my time has been an absolute game changer in my household. It's allowed me to show up as a better mom, wife, and a better business owner to my team too. So, all right, you guys, that's it. Those are my 9 tips for getting in shape, simpler, faster, and way more sustainably. Even with the chaos of mom life, remember, you don't need perfection. Just consistency, a little planning, and a whole lot of action. If even one of these tips helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which one you're going to start with this week. You've got this, and I'm here to help you every step of the way, so don't hesitate to reach out. If you're interested in working with me or one of our other coaches at OxFit, please email lauren@ox.fit. I will see you guys on my next podcast next week. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.